Hi folks, thanks for spending some time with me today. We're looking at number 14 in Nathan Ost's miniature etudes for trumpet. These have become fairly popular, and it's pretty obvious why. They're short and they present challenges which we can make progress with in our practice, hopefully. So I'm going to play through this, and I already see some difficulties that are going to present themselves, so I'll do what I can for you, and then we'll go back and pick up the pieces and see what we can learn about how to play the trumpet better from playing this little etude. That's got a few little twists and turns in it. I got a little tongue-tied there, but I'm going to go back and just as I would do to practice, I'm going to work out some of the difficulties. Now, you may have different difficulties than I, but I hope some of our work will align and that you'll find something useful for your own work here. Now, what I noticed right off the bat is I wasn't totally comfortable because I was kind of manipulating every note. So this is spinning. So it's got a cyclical, like a spinning wheel. It goes around and around and around. And you want that to feel as smoothly as possible. And just doing that, I can feel I need to work on the smoothness. And I can recognize right away what's causing the problem, and this is the problem for most players. We tend to blow harder to go higher, and then we reverse that process to go lower. And that's not the best way to play the trumpet. Claude Gordon used to say, when you drive your car and you're going uphill, you step on the gas, you go down the hill, you let off the gas. He said when you're playing the trumpet, when you go up the hill, you step on the gas. When you go down the hill, you keep stepping on the gas. You step on the gas. You don't let off the gas. What does that mean? You don't let off the flow. The energy in the flow changes, but you have to maintain the flow. And any accomplished player is going to tell you the same thing in whatever words they use to describe it. But the problem is our brain thinks we go instead of you have to maintain that spin in the air coming down. I was a little bit off. I kept control, but I was starting to get tight on it. Now, how would I practice this? Well, actually, I would do the old Chicago school method that I learned, which is sing it, buzz it, and play it. How does that apply here? Well, if I try and sing it, pardon me for my singing voice, but what I want you to notice from that, this is really important, is I'm singing one tone. The tone changes pitch, but there are no notches. But I'm in the right place at the right time. So I'm going, This is the value of singing. I'm also trying to maintain the same without pushing, the same freedom of resonance, the same color to the sound, the same volume in the sound. Just doing that, I firmly believe, will help your trumpet playing. If there's nothing else you take from this particular episode, take that, because it's a fundamental skill that you can take from your voice, and you already know how to use your voice. Don't worry about whether you like the way your voice sounds. Remember the rules. Be in the right place at the right time with the pitch. Don't just do a gesture with no time. Then go go faster with the time until you have one continuous motion. Great. Maintain the timbre of your voice. Maintain the dynamic sound of your voice, the dynamic level, the intensity, dynamic intensity of your voice. And then you can play with it. Once you get it smooth, you can play with it. Then I would do that buzzing, which I won't demonstrate for you now because you understand it. But it's the same exact principles. I'm maintaining the dynamics and the pitch, and I'm timing the buzz so that it ends up in the right place. So that's the tempo. I'm not in the right place at the right time. So now I'm going to slow it way down. So I added the tongue just so you could see I'm in the right place at the right time. Now this is very, very powerful medicine for your playing. It takes a lot of patience. You need to keep your ear on the quality of your voice, the sound. If you're losing resonance, if you're fighting, you're tight, none of this will work. So you have to bring yourself back to the fundamentals over and over again. And when your body starts accepting this, then it starts to be fun, and then you can get into this fluid motion. Now, one more thing before I leave this, this idea, is what makes this hard is the descending intervals, as I said before. You have to keep the flow going when you ascend. And then he makes a figure that drops with a sudden interval. So the first intervals are easy. And you can go as fast as you want as long as you can stay balanced and in time. Then the next one is a little harder. It has a much bigger jump going down, and that has to be timed perfectly. I hope you can hear how I'm blowing right down into the G. I'm not going da-dee-da-da-da-da-da-dee. However, the way he has it written, it's tongued. So I learn this first, or if I'm having trouble with it, I do it first with the slur, and then with the tongue. With the slur to do what I just demonstrated. So I'm blowing through unimpeded all the time. And then when I put the tongue in, I'm not blocking that airflow. You see? It's easy. Now, it's very challenging to do it well. The principle is easy, and you can do this. You just need to apply yourself to it. It will totally change the way you play the trumpet. But it may take some time, a lot of time. So spend a little concentrated effort on this kind of thing. That's why I like these etudes. I can take a couple of bars and practice it and straighten out some things in my playing that are just a little bit off. Okay, now the next spot that is musically different is the forte. So you're going along, and then all of a sudden it gets, there's a different attitude that comes in. And then there's that little rhythmic thing. So a couple more ideas. Blow straight through and let the tongue do the work. To get whatever articulation you want. More bounce, more separation. Now I got to spend some time on bar 12. And this might be tricky for some of you out there. I looked at it and I'm thinking, okay, what is that exactly rhythmically? What is it? Dun da 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 dun da 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 dee da 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 dee. Now I'm feeling the 6/8. Each group of 3, I'm feeling as if it's a 2, or no, as if it's a 3. Ya da 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 dee da da dee da da dee da da. That's in 1, right? Ya da 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 dee da da dee da da. Then when I get to bar 15, do dee do dee dee do. My tendency is going to be to stay in the same feel, and that's not wrong. So I'm going dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 da. That feel doesn't work in the sextuplet bar. There you have to be in 3. I'm pretty convinced that Mr. Ost wrote it this way on purpose, and that's fine. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it makes an interesting challenge. How do we get past the challenge? Well, there are a couple ways. You can change the way you're feeling. Dun da 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 dee dun da da dee dee dun da 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 da. Instead of dun da 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 dee dun da 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 dee in bar 11, you can be going dun da 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 dee dun da 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 dee da. So now you're feeling it in 3. And then you're set up to do dum da 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 dee dun da 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 dee dun da 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 da. You're right in the groove already. I'm going to suggest to you something different than that. That's perfectly fine. Do all these things. That's what I do. Do all these things, and then do it every which way. So you do it with a duple feel. Don't do it dun da da dee 2 2 2 2 2 2. So basically, it's a 3-2. It's a hemiola, going back and forth between din di dun di dun da do di dun da 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 da. Okay, I'm not going to beat that drum anymore. I hope you understand what I'm talking about, and that you just go practice this. Use a metronome and try it on the 2-beat and on the 3-beat. If you're like most people, it'll drive you a little bit crazy. Put the internal beats in. I'm not going to demonstrate all that right now. This is for your own practice. One more thing, then I'll let you go, because I know that it's difficult to maintain an attention span beyond 1 minute anymore because of social media. But there's a little change at the end. And here we have that same flowing, spinning subdivision. Right? Going all the way through. But now there are rests in it. So this is starting at, why don't I start at bar 17? So at the end it's, now some of you who are cool dudes and have a great sense of rhythm, you're not going to have any problem with this. If you have a good internal clock, it's a little jive, it's syncopated, right? It's a little jazzy. The thing to notice is goes all the way through. Let me see if I can set this up on the metronome for you. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this right, but I'm going to try it anyway. That's really annoying. Sorry. The point is that subdivision, that flow, you can't disturb it at all. It's just totally even and totally free to move forward at that rate. Most people are going to be losing time on the da-da-da, da-dee-da, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-dee-da, da-da-da, because you can't react fast enough. You just have to stay in the flow. So I hope you take some of these things to heart and check yourself out. Use the metronome and record yourself and see what you can learn. You can really improve a lot of things in your playing by just paying attention to some of the details that I talked about today. So go do that. Sorry for my long-windedness, but some of you accept it. Thank you very much. And the rest of you, I'm not talking to you right now because you already left. But in any case, if you're still with me, have a great day. Go spend some time practicing and enjoy the process. It's fun when it's good. See you later. Bye-bye.